Oh, we've lost, Ben ran away as soon as we went live.
I'm back.
Right.
Hi. Starting to see all the members come in.
Yeah, I see Alan Tenoy. Hi, Alan. Karen. Laura Rich. Oh, I miss you guys. Mauricio. Neil. Mike Enriquez. Brenda Garcia.
And Jessica will mention it to everyone checking in. Please make sure to use the chat feature to just say hello to each other or say hello to us or anything that you'd like to share. So we do, everyone can see all of those and it's a good way for us to all say hi. Say hi, Karen, how are you? We miss you.
It's great. Hey, Mike. Okay, we still have people joining, so we'll give it a few more minutes until we get going here. Make sure everyone has their coffee and a comfy seat.
Big hello from all in Colombia to us. Hi, everyone.
Oh, hey, Brad. Hi, Mauricio. Jeff, we can drink after this, absolutely. Hey, Pat. These are always so bittersweet because you see all the familiar names and you think of everyone's faces and it just makes it so much more difficult to not be able to see everyone this year.
Great to see you, Nick. Well, Jessica, we're getting a good critical mass of people. You want to give it maybe another minute or so?
Yeah, we'll get started. What time? Yep, I'll give it till 2:03. About one more minute. Hey, Alan. Got a lot of waves too. That's great. Oh, Rex. Hey, Rex. Marla, great to see you. I'm just scrolling through the attendee list. All right, let's do it. People will continue to join. We are ready to get going. All right, welcome everyone to the WF&FSA 2020 virtual meeting of members. We have a great turnout and I know more are still joining. We're happy to have you all here so you can hear about the latest happenings and future plans for this great association. Due to the virtual nature of this call, all motions and votes cannot be made by voice, obviously. Therefore, during the meeting, when a vote is called, we will ask that you utilize the polling option in Zoom. You will see a polling screen like you see here as an example. I ask that you please choose the correct option to cast your vote. You'll have about 30 seconds to answer. We also have the Q&A function live for this meeting. If you have any questions during the course of the webinar, please be sure to input a question there and we'll answer all questions at the end. Thank you again for joining us in this unusual setting. We miss you. Right now, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to your current WF&FSA president, Mr. Tim Dewey.
Thank you, Jessica. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for taking your valuable time to join us today. As president of WF&FSA, I would like to call our first and hopefully only virtual annual meeting of members to order. I'm going to use a ceremonial set of former WF&FSA presidential gavels to get this meeting underway. Here we go. One for Mr. Bob Wilkins and one for John Wilkins. So let me see if I can do this. And with the gavel, our meeting is now underway. I told you I'd find a way to use those, Molly. For sure, I'm a little biased, but I think that WF&FSA membership is comprised of some of the best companies on the planet. And I'm really honored to be here presenting to you today. The floral industry, it's a resilient group historically, and we have been challenged recently, unlike at any times before. I think it's safe to say that none of us could ever have predicted the events that have occurred around the world over the past 5 months. My last industry event was attending SAF's Congressional Action Days in the second week of March. At that time, all congressional and Senate offices were open as floral industry constituents advocated for our issues on the Hill. Something wasn't quite right though, as an ominous air of uncertainty hung over the event as it was becoming clearer that we were moving towards the unknown. Events unfold rapidly over the next weeks, and initially it changed the landscape of the floral flow of products that we are all accustomed to. Initially, the COVID crisis affected every floral company on the East Coast and on the West Coast, and soon that spread nationwide. The majority of wholesale distributors and retail floral businesses in the Northeast that I can attest to ground to a halt as stay-at-home enforcement orders were enacted state by state. In the weeks following the state-mandated closures, the stark reality of the situation and its effect on our businesses hit home. Sudden loss of revenue, safety concerns about the virus, and our employees' health immediately became of paramount importance for us. Many distributor-owned inventories went to waste, and shipping from suppliers ceased temporarily, causing big losses at the farms that supply our production. Over the ensuing weeks in the Northeast, we began to see some very slow sign of independent retailers opening up again with social distancing protocols in place in states that they were allowed to do so. Also, after a period of supply chain interruption, consumption of flowers at mass chain outlets resumed a healthy normality, in some cases a very healthy normality. But today, I don't want to just focus on the past and what we have all experienced. It's been tough on so many levels as we try to run our businesses and to keep our families and employees safe. And quarantine has had profound effects on the business and on family life too. For me, it's brought family time to a whole new level with many adult children, of many of our members moving home and having a whole new family life again. So it's been interesting. They're starting to leave though, which is quite a good thing. Looking ahead, we're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel to some degree. Yes, there are reports of resurgence and a new normal with social distancing going into next year, along with numerous still unknowns that just unsettle us somewhat as we plan for the future. Some positive things are starting to happen in our industry segments as florists of all kinds are finding their niche and opportunities in this new business environment. States are starting to reopen, and sure, there have been reclosures, but many states are slowly but safely getting back to business. Other areas of the country are experiencing their first outbreaks, and some, like California, have regressed somewhat after massive prevention attempts back in March and April. We're learning that slowly that social distancing and masks are working, and both are helping to decrease the spread of the virus. Slightly ahead of us, other countries, some with political unity in their approach to prevention to the virus, are returning to a semblance of normality. So there is hope out there for us. We're in no way out of the woods yet, but I prefer to remain positive so we can all get back to full population consumption of floral products as soon as possible. While many WF&FSA member companies have been deemed essential, as we should be, each of us has certainly had to make significant changes that have impacted our productivity and our profitability in 2020. It's been a struggle and a challenge, but I think this is making our most adaptable and innovative companies stronger and nimbler in today's ever-changing environments. I know we've all learned a lot from doing business during COVID that will hopefully extend to us all working more effectively and more efficiently in the future. In our company's specific example, we had little choice but to suspend service during the lockdown as the vast majority of our customers were forced to close. The expectations of a massive 2020 wedding season have sadly been missed, and we have to collectively look to some fall events with an expectation of normality once again in 2021. Looking ahead, challenges remain for some segments of our industry, undoubtedly. The quote-unquote new normal will present a unique business climate in which we will all need to work for in the foreseeable future. Wedding and events are a huge part of our business, and certainly large gatherings will take place in much lessened numbers for the rest of the year minimally. But business continues, and I know at DV Flora we are working harder and more efficiently than ever to bring our customers the quality floral products that they expect. I believe that the floral community has worked together over the past 4 months. Our suppliers lost sales and production went to waste initially. Our hard goods inventory sat idle at our suppliers' warehouses. Importers and wholesalers, variable by region, suffered sales losses, and our customers were forced to close. And as we know, most events were canceled. Collectively, as an industry, I have seen us work together to get over this hump. After such a tough and unmanageable crisis faced our industry sector, innovative businesses like those in floral distribution will find opportunity as the country returns to new normality in the future. WF&FSA is looking ahead on how to best help our membership navigate through business post-COVID. You'll hear from Molly Alton-Mullins, WF&FSA's Executive Vice President, in a few minutes on this association and our programs and services. It's been quite an unexpected year as the WF&FSA President, but I believe we're moving in the right direction for our members. As you know, WF&FSA was forced to cancel all of our in-person events programs this year, which was obviously a very, very difficult decision for us, but one that we had to make in light of the prevailing situations. One of the reasons this was so hard was because the Floral Distribution Conference, the FDC, and DevX, formerly the Management Institute, financially impact the association a tremendous amount. However, we are fortunate that WF&FSA is in a sound financial position, thanks to the great vigilance by past volunteer leadership, working with our management association, and of course, thanks to our members. In a moment, WF&FSA Treasurer Dave Legg will share with us WF&FSA's 2020 forecast and plans for the remainder of the year. Dave, thank you.
Thanks, Tim, and thank you members for being here today. Certainly not the year I anticipated as treasurer, but WF&FSA will get through this and hopefully emerge stronger in 2021 and beyond. I've always believed that a crisis like COVID doesn't necessarily make you stronger, but reveals how strong an organization is. And WF&FSA has many strengths, including being financially strong. Over the past several years, WF&FSA has been able to grow its net assets by generating consistent revenues, controlling expenses, and running successful DevX and FDC events. In 2019, the net assets reached a level that provided an opportunity to invest in programs and initiatives to the benefit of our members. This is why the board made the strategic decision to bring down the net assets by approximately $50,000 in 2019, while ending the year with a strong net asset balance of approximately $1,250,000. And we'll look at the balance sheet in a minute, which shows this. The original budget plan for 2020 was a continuation of this strategy to invest in programs and initiatives. The board decided to further bring down the net assets by approximately $130,000 in 2020 to boost WF&FSA's long-term plans. Then COVID hit, and the strategy had to change quickly. I mention this today to assure our members that despite the hardships we all are facing, the association has positioned itself to weather this storm. For a number of months now, Denver Wholesale has had to make some very difficult decisions, and WF&FSA is no different. WF&FSA had to cancel the DevX and FDC events, both of which are very important to its financial health. With the cancellation of these events and the current expense structure, we were projecting the net loss in 2020 to balloon up to $250,000. This is when the 2020 strategy changed immediately to minimize the current year loss as much as possible, while at the same time preserving a foundation for the future. As a result of doing a detailed review of all the expenses, including some of which were contractually obligated and some which could be renegotiated, we were able to reduce the projected loss to $177,000. While still significant, WF&FSA is financially strong enough to absorb this loss and have a projected year-end net asset balance of just under $1.1 million. I would like to specifically thank Molly and her 712 team on behalf of WF&FSA for the management fee concessions they made to support WF&FSA for the long term. As we look at the balance sheet, obviously the safety of WF&FSA's cash investments is of primary importance, especially now, and we continue to monitor these investments to ensure they are made in accordance with WF&FSA's investment policy. The investments include money market funds, CDs with varying maturity dates, and government-backed corporate bonds. The investments are managed by a firm of Janney Montgomery Scott and are reviewed on a quarterly basis. As I think about the challenges we all have suffered, it feels like a constant balancing act, especially when you hear and read about changes on a daily basis. This is a balancing act Ember Wholesale continues to face. When to cut back and control costs, when to restart projects that were put on hold, when to start building again for the future. But I am confident, particularly as an association, that we can balance the short-term demands with the long-term opportunities. The strength of WF&FSA and the strength of our industry will provide us the foundation to come through this with a bright future as we look to 2021 and beyond. I want to thank you for your time today, and please know that I and the entire executive committee will continue to monitor WF&FSA's 2020 financial performance throughout this year. Thank you, and that concludes my financial report.
Dave, thank you for that report and for overseeing WF&FSA's financials. You have been a rock steady in this appointment, and we all thank you so much for it. This has been an incredibly difficult year for you to be treasurer, and I appreciate all that you've done in working with Don, Molly, and the WF&FSA leadership to minimize our losses as much as possible. Your expertise in finance has been vital for our association this year. With that, I'd now like to turn it over to Molly Alton-Mullins, WF&FSA's Executive Vice President, for her update on WF&FSA's latest initiatives. Molly?
Tim, thank you. Thank you for your leadership in this year. It certainly wasn't what you anticipated when you signed up for this, so we do appreciate everything that everyone on the executive committee and board has done. I've had the pleasure to serve WF&FSA for a number of years now, moving so many exciting programs forward, intensifying the events that we offer, and really offering an opportunity for our members and their businesses to grow and thrive. That is our goal for 2020 and 2021 and beyond, is to provide benefits and services that directly help the bottom line of your companies. We thank you for your membership. We're here to support you, and we appreciate everything that everyone is struggling and going through right now. Back in January, the 5 of us that you're looking, 6 of us, actually got together face-to-face when meetings were allowed to happen as an executive team meeting. And our goal was to determine what's the strategy for the year and moving forward. And leaving the executive committee meeting, we came up with 3 pillars of focus for WF&FSA for this year and into next. The first of which is education, followed by collaboration, followed by networking. And really everything that WF&FSA offers fits into these 3 main buckets of focus. Talking about education for just a moment, I hope everyone has seen WF&FSA Institute. This was launched at FTC last year. This is an online learning platform to train employees. So much of what we hear every day is, I need to teach people who are new, I need to get them involved in the floral business, I need to teach them supply chain, all those sorts of things. Well, this tool is available for members to help you do just that. We launched the flower care and handling course last year. We're in the process of building out additional courses that are specific to the floral industry for this year. So I really encourage you to visit our website, take advantage of this product, and really use this time as you can to help train your employees so that we're all back to business full time, everyone's ready. In addition to WF&FSA Institute, event education is a primary focus of ours. At FTC, at DevX, those are all opportunities for us to really focus on educating our members about what the future holds and really sales training, those sorts of things. So these will all happen in 2021 and we're hoping in the face-to-face format. So I encourage you to look at the educational offerings that we'll have for these particular programs. WF&FSA also provides data points of education for our members, our cross-industry compensation study, as well as our benchmarking reports. These are free if you participate. I encourage everyone to to sign up, supplier information. You get these reports. At a time like this, data is more important than ever. So to see how you benchmark yourself against your colleagues, your competitors, is a benefit that we want to provide to you as an association. And we have also communication tools that are here at your disposal, between WFSA's blog, social, website, our newsletter network. We want to share information that's relevant to you. So if you have new products, company news announcements, industry trends that you think are relevant to your colleagues, please send those to us so we can share those through the appropriate channel. The second bucket that I'll talk about for a moment is collaboration. That has been a primary focus, and I want to specifically tout Ben Powell for all of his work to collaborate with other trade associations so that we're benefiting WFSA and the floral chain collectively. As I hope everyone knows, WFSA this year launched a research study in conjunction with all of the partners that you see here. Our focus was to really determine trends within the wholesale community, but also really look at the e-commerce platform and determine what that really is going to look like for our members moving forward. We went into this before COVID happened, but I think coming out of it, we can all say that understanding e-commerce within the floral supply chain is as important now as ever. We're also doing a lot of collaboration with other associations related to government affairs. Special thanks to Tim and Ben, who both testified with the FEEF and SAF recently. We're sharing information on COVID and resources to help jumpstart businesses. So our goal is to get tools out there that really help us all work better together. And then lastly is networking. WFSA is who we are because we really enjoy being around each other. It strengthens our businesses. I don't think any of us can say that by going to our events and seeing and engaging with your suppliers and your customers, it doesn't help you do your business better. So we will always make this a paramount pillar of WFSA. We will get back to it as soon as we can. Tim will talk to you a little bit about our schedule for events in 2021. But I can't wait to see all these faces again in our locations. So just with that, I highly encourage you all to get involved. We all do a lot of work. We all enjoy each other. This association is only going to be as strong as what you put into it. And if you believe and love this industry, we want you to be on a committee. We want you to be on the board. We need your expertise, your insights, so that we can help make WFSA better than ever. So thank you for the opportunity to serve you. I am here at any time for your comments, concerns, criticisms, praise. So we really look forward to getting back to business and all that you all are doing. So with that, Tim, I'll turn it back to you.
Molly, thank you so much for that report, and really thank you for all of your team, what your team does for WFSA. We have built an incredible partnership together, and I want to thank you and Jessica and the entire management team for working so well with us. Now I'd like to introduce Ben Powell, WFSA's immediate past president. Ben and I have worked very closely together these past few years, and his assistance in leading WFSA has been incredible. Today, Ben is going to present the unique recommendation on board terms and the slate of directors before us. Ben?
Tim, thank you. It's been an incredibly challenging time for our industry, as we all know, and hard enough to successfully guide a business through this period. But you've drawn the lucky card, and you're wearing a second hat as president of WFSA during this historic year. And I know, and all of your predecessors know, that the additional responsibility is real. It demands real focus and time. So all of us, the WFSA board, staff, and membership, appreciate your commitment and your steady hand at the wheel. Before I get into the business of the nominating committee, just a few quick thoughts. The word unprecedented has been almost comically overused in the past 5 months. Not a day goes by that I don't receive a half a dozen emails with the word unprecedented. But it is a word that fairly describes our predicament. Our country and our industry has never seen anything quite like the shock and the disruption of the past 5 months. But the truth is, the industry has faced profound challenges in the past. Wars, deep recessions, 9/11, the Great Depression, even failed roll-ups in the late 1990s. And we've survived. And the reason we've survived is because people want the beauty of flowers in their homes, their celebrations, and their lives. But also because our companies have embraced new realities. We've made tough decisions, executed plans, and we've stayed positive. This is not a fun year, but it is a test of leadership. And while I'm certain there will be industry casualties, there already have been, I'm equally certain that disciplined and resilient companies with a bias for action and a passion for serving customers will come out stronger on the other side. So now on to the business stuff. As immediate past president, I'm responsible for chairing WFSA's nominating committee and for bringing good candidate ideas before the full board of directors for future terms. With the postponement of our Floral Distribution Conference, the DevX event, the spring and likely the fall committee and board meetings, we've decided to postpone the process of board succession until after the next FDC. We have a talented group of individuals leading this association, and we do want to give them the time and the opportunity to really contribute to the association. So in my official capacity as past president, I'd like to put forth our recommendation to make a bylaw exception for this and to provide a recommendation that for 2020 board of directors and officers remain the same through February 2021. So the membership will be asked to take a vote after the full slate is presented. In essence, again, we're kicking the can down the road until after the next FDC, until February of 2021 to have the board succession, which usually takes place in the late fall after the FDC in November. So that is what the proposal is. The board of directors for 2020 consists of the following individuals: Mark Berglund, Washington Floral Service; Darren Dewberry, Pete Garcia Company, Garcia Group; Wendy Fowle, Stahl Dunan Floral Canada; Jason Lenz, Len Bush Roses; Freddie Malero, Choice Farms; Alejandro Perez, Comet Sales; Gary Staten, Bill Doran Company; and Jeff Stoppenhagen, Gassafee Wholesale. Also, WFSA's executive committee, consisting of myself, Ben Powell with Mayesh, remaining in the role as past president; Dave Legg of DWF, remaining as treasurer; Gabriel Becerra, Golden Flowers, remaining as the first vice president; and Tim Dewey with DB Flora, remaining as president of WFSA, again, through February of 2021. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica now to remind you of how to vote on this important motion.
Thanks, Ben. In a moment, a poll option will come up on your screen. I ask that you please cast your vote to extend the board terms through February of 2021. You'll have about 30 seconds to answer. There might be a slight delay as we populate the poll, but just give it a moment and you can cast your vote. Also remember that the Q&A function is live for any questions you may have for the executive committee following the report here. Okay, we have a critical mass of votes. The votes are in, and there are your results.
Awesome, 100%. Thank you very much. The motion passes, obviously. Thank you all for your participation. And Tim, turning it back over to you.
And thank you so much for taking care of official business, and to all of the members of the board and executive committee, thank you so much for your willingness to serve another for an extended session for WFSA. I know we will have great days ahead for sure. So thank you for that. I'd also like to reach out and just thank all of our committee members for volunteering their time to make our association stronger. The committees are a very important part of what makes WFSA a strong association. I also want to remind WFSA about our 2021 in-person event. We will get together face-to-face next year, as I know we all need to see each other to strengthen our business relationships. Only this past weekend, I was reminiscing about the value of industry events. Without them, our industry is forced to work in a virtual vacuum. So I look forward to future days ahead where our association associates can collectively become stronger together with in-person networking and educational events. I also want to make note of the fact, Ben, that I did not say unprecedented up to this point in time. so I plan not to for the rest of the meeting. We want to talk now about the dates for next year, for 2021. We have, of course, our rescheduled Floral Distribution Conference that will take place on February 24th to the 26th, 2021. As Molly mentioned, we'll be back at the Doral utilizing all that incredible property has to offer. We will open registration this fall, so look and wait for some exciting announcements related to the FDC coming in the future. Also, please make sure to save the date for DevX 2021, which will take place in Niagara Falls, Canada, July 27th to 30th in 2021. We actually should be there right now. We should be in Niagara today, but we've managed to move everything ahead by a year. After everything we've endured this year, I know we're ready for a chance to get together and to celebrate our future. And now, before we answer any questions you may have, I'd like to turn the floor over to Gabriel Becerra to share his vision for WF&FSA and our industry. Gabriel will take the helm in February, and I personally will be thrilled to have Gabriel lead our association. Gabriel?
Thank you, Tim. Your guidance and leadership have been exceptional, especially during such crazy times as this. I'm very glad to be in this meeting, and also sad that I don't have the opportunity to share with you a drink, a coffee, or tea, a good cigar. But I'm sure that in February we will get the revenge. I wanted to take a moment to share with you some of my thoughts on the importance of flowers and how our industry makes the world a better place. I know that we had a lot of challenges since the pandemic started. And if we look at the bright side of the things, we had been witness of the relevance of our work as members of the floral industry and the role flowers had played. We all have one of the best opportunities of our lifetime to raise the awareness of what we do and the products that we sell, both inside our industry and of course outside to the world. We should have and show passion for what we do, that is helping people express feeling with flowers. Flowers that have been used by many consumers to enhance their days and mitigate the effects of the quarantine and the isolation. We want all the members of the association to be part of a movement to show the world the power of flowers. A good example of this is the campaign that just started in Michigan called Hugs and Smiles Bouquet. It was put together with the support of several organizations in the industry, with ads running by radio and TV until the end of September. I believe this is a great pilot project that can be replicated in other states and by many of us. Our priority is to facilitate connection between the members. We will facilitate it virtually and frequently until we can do it in person. And we welcome your ideas and involvement to implement them. Part of our duties is to listen to your needs. I understand your challenges. We know that there are many. In a way to work together to find solutions and new ways to do things and become better. We really want all members' participation. So thank you all for listening and for supporting our industry and WF&FSA. I look forward to a brighter future. Now back to you, Tim.
Gabriel, thank you so much. WF&FSA will be in great hands under your leadership. Now it's time for the executive committee to answer any questions you have submitted. Jessica explained the process in the beginning, and many of you have been sending your questions along. We will address those and any more that you submit until we bring today's event to a close at 3 p.m. Jessica, can you please remind folks one more time how they can submit questions?
Absolutely. There is a Q&A box on your Zoom control panel. Just click that, type in a question, and we can address it to the appropriate member of the executive committee. I will let you see everyone's beautiful faces all together. Look alive. All right, so we do have a question about board and committee involvement. I think, Ben, you can probably tackle this as the head of the nominating committee, but we do have a question about how to get involved with WF&FSA and what the time commitment is. I know that people are probably very busy right now with trying to get everything back on track. So can you just go over what the general time commitment is to be on the committees and the board?
Happy to do that, and I'd invite anybody else among the group to supplement or correct me. But in any case, you know, that from the committee standpoint, we have two committees: the education committee and the marketing committee. And Molly will have to tell me exactly how many people are on those committees, but I can tell you that there's, generally speaking, we have 2 in-person meetings a year, which is essentially 36 to 48 hours. Really great opportunity to get together, help the association move forward with the education and communication agenda. It does require some travel twice a year, usually, because they're depending on where you live, I suppose. One of those meetings, it takes place concurrent with the FDC. So presumably you'd be at the FDC anyway. You know, obviously there's benefits to this where it deepens our relationships, deepens our engagement, enhances our knowledge and understanding of what's going on in the industry. So there's real value in it. But that is the expectation as far as the meetings are concerned for the committees. There are conference calls that do take place as well, not on a monthly basis, but they're periodic in between those meetings, again, to sort of further the agenda for those committees. As far as board membership, it is, again, those 2 times of year, spring and fall, to get together in person, as well as generally a monthly hour-long conference call, and you know, other engagement. We do ask for our board to contribute and be active in various ways with respect to our events, and again, furthering our agenda. But it's well worth the investment of time from my experience, and I think most, if not all of us who have served on WF&FSA's committees and board would agree to that as well.
Thank you, Ben. Seeing a lot of nods of agreement, so that's good. We're all on the same page. We have a question from Lanny Callister. Hi, Lanny. She wanted to know how the WF&FSA members reacted to the change of venue from Orlando to Doral. She asked if there were any that opposed it, and personally, she says she's very happy. We're happy to hear that, Lanny. Molly, you want to tackle that?
Sure. When we were confronted with having to cancel FDC, our thought was, how can we position this event to make it as easy for our members as possible and participate and get back to business, and moving the event back to Miami, I think just made a ton of sense. So looking at properties, WF&FSA is a very unique event. We take up a lot of space and have a lot of local attendance. So hotels don't love that because they're not getting the room nights. So looking for properties that work for us and that we trust and we know, the Doral made sense for us to return to that for this year. So we're very excited to try the spring format and see. We've wanted to do this for a long time to test this out and see how this would go. So I think, and I'll open it to the rest of the executive committee, or please type your own comments and let us know how you feel about moving back to Miami. We'd love to get the pulse of the members about that as well. Anyone else have anything they want to add?
Yeah, Molly, I would add to that we've seen over the past few years pre-COVID that September and October timeframe getting increasingly busy with events. And so this actually, you know, this opportunity worked out that we could actually try to move our event until the springtime, just after February, after Valentine's Day, but before Easter business. So hopefully we'll keep away from that busy fall event season, or what was a busy event season, fall event season pre-COVID.
Great, thanks. In the same vein as FDC, we do have a question coming in. I think it's important to address it with everyone on the call right now. The question is, do we foresee FDC occurring in February with everything that's going on in the world?
I'll start with that with a little bit of the hotel perspective. As Tim opened our talk today so eloquently, our goal is to remain as positive as possible. And our goal is to get our WFSA membership together face-to-face as easily as we can. So that is our number one goal, but obviously with the safety in mind of you and your companies. So we've spent a lot of time in these past few months redoing hotel contracts to allow us the opportunity to not just cancel events. You still have a force majeure where you can cancel for terrorism, pandemics are now a part of that, et cetera, but to allow organizations like ours to slide events. So you see more and more hotels that are allowing you the opportunity to reschedule in a few months later. So if we want to host a face-to-face FTC and February is not plausible, which I hope that it is, there will be the opportunity for us to find another time that would make sense for us in 2021. Hopefully we won't have to do any of that and it'll all go well, but we do have that opportunity to protect ourselves as an organization.
Anyone else want to add to what Molly said? That was a good cover. Okay, and then last question we have, unless any more come in, is can someone please explain the process for purchasing a WFSA Institute membership? Is there a person to email, a form to fill out, a flag to fly?
Absolutely, I can take that. If you go to WFSA.org, you'll see a WFSA Institute tab. You can sign up, it's very affordable. It's $49 a person, or there's also a corporate membership for a company to provide you a certain number of employees that can access it. Our education department here, you can email them directly through that page. They'll get you set up, and then you can access and customize whatever content you'd like for your employees. So you can give them the full suite of information. You can tailor a learning track for them. You can handle it however your company provides professional development. So it's a very affordable tool for members that WFSA thought of quite value to give to our membership. So I encourage people to get involved.
Great, I can imagine it's probably a great time to sit people down and get them trained right now, keep them employed and also get something out of the back end as well. Well, that concludes our question and answer portion. At any time, if you do think of a question following this webinar, please feel free to direct them to Ms. Mullins, mmullins@wfsa.org. She will be happy to answer the question or forward it along to an executive team member that can answer the question. Mr. President, back to you.
Jessica, thank you. Thank you for the questions and to our members for submitting those questions and really for being here today. You are what makes this association and our industry successful. We want to ensure that as an organization, we're providing the value that benefits you and your businesses, especially during this very, very difficult time for the industry post-COVID as we move on to the future. I hope that you will offer your thoughts on future initiatives that WFSA can provide. We're looking for feedback to make this industry or this association and our industry even stronger. Have a great evening and all the best to you, your businesses and your family. And with that, and I finally gonna say it.
Tim, hold on. I'm sorry. I just would like to stretch this out for you as long as possible.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica.
Gabriel has one last comment he would like to address to the attendees.
Fantastic.
I'm very happy to see that we have a lot of people here, but I also believe that we could be more people in these meetings. If we take the couple minutes and you guys call or ladies call one of our fellow members that are not here today, but we know that they are part of the association, and ask them to get together with us in the next opportunity. That will help to get more people involved. And as I said earlier, we want the participation of all the members. We need the participation to be in a stronger association. It depends on us, not in anybody else. So please, and be free to call us, any of us members of the executive committee or the board members, with any idea, with any question, with any request that you may have, and we try to follow up and answer those things and figure out ways to make your membership more relevant. Thank you.
And to your point, Gabriel, Ben, Tim, Dave, Gabriel, you all have worked so tremendously hard these past few months as we've all negotiated and navigated this. And I cannot thank you enough for your leadership and support. The WF&FSA membership, your executive committee deeply cares about this organization. So thank you to the four of you and the rest of the board for all the calls and everything else that we've had to do. So I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much for those words. And Gabriel will be in safe hands as an association with the passion that Gabriel has for moving this industry forward. Soon you'll receive a survey about today's webinar, and I hope you'll offer your thoughts on future initiatives and services that WF&FSA can provide. Have a great evening. As I mentioned before, this meeting is now adjourned. I wouldn't end this without taking the opportunity to say I'm going to take the opportunity to unprecedentedly, and I got to say it, end this meeting with banging these two gavels together. That's it. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.